Denzel Curry has become this artist that is extremely very good, right?
Extremely very good.
Extremely very good. And when I say that, it's like consistently just very good. I've called him the Jason Tatum of the rap world, where everything is just very good. Nothing mind-blowingly spectacular except for Ultimate, right? Where Jason Tatum also dunked on LeBron one time, right? All right, welcome back. This is Soundbites, a part of the Album Mode podcast where we're talking about the music, the culture, the internet, sometimes the legal battles. often now, of the music culture that we exist in today. My name is Demar Grant, aka King Grant, aka The Bunny. And I'm here with my esteemed co-host, co-creator, Adriel Smiley, aka AdrielSmiley.com, aka Mr. Smiley, aka The Godfather. And we are here talking about 3 albums, okay? We're talking about 3 albums. We were on break, or I don't want to say break, but we were not here last week. That's why we had a little bit of a dispersed schedule of releasing. And we have been able to round up a couple of albums that we wanted to talk about, 3 albums that we wanted to talk about, but we wouldn't be able to do 3 albums in a single, or 4. It would be 4 albums in a single day.
Yeah. That's a lot.
So that's a lot. So we decided we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna cut them up, break them down a little bit here. We'll give you a little bit of a speed review. This is basically how we would actually be talking about the albums if it was just me and Adriel, and we're not trying to, make a whole, show and talking about it, breaking it down, each, letter of every fucking.
And this is what Soundbites would have been if everyone wasn't breaking the law.
Yeah, people were behaving themselves in real life.
This would be Soundbites every week.
So I wanted to talk about Denzel Curry, Mr. 8 himself, if you're in the Fantano world. He released this album called Kings of the Mischievous South, Volume 2. Basically, Denzel Curry has become this artist that is extremely very good, right?
Extremely very good.
Extremely very good. And when I say that, it's like consistently just very good. I've called him the Jason Tatum of the rap world, where everything is just very good. Nothing mind-blowingly spectacular except for Ultimate, right? Where Jason Tatum also dunked on LeBron one time, right? So I think that outside of that, he's just released very, 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 very good albums in a string. The last album that he released, which was Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, was like more of a concept album, right? And he's one of those artists that I'm gonna do concept, and then I'm going to do a freewheel. Concept, and then freewheel. Concept, freewheel, concept. And we're back in the freewheel zone, mixtape zone.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So King of the Mischievous South, Volume 2, we're back in the freewheel mixtape zone, and I'm loving it. How did you feel about this album?
Have you heard King of the Mischievous South, Volume 1?
No.
So I that was my first thought. I said, this is one of the, it's almost like when Dirty Sprite 2 came out, and everyone's like, did I miss Dirty Sprite 1?
Yeah, where's the first Dirty Sprite?
And this was one of those where I was like, I definitely missed the first one. Now, I wasn't a Denzel Curry fan at that point, so to be fair, I wouldn't have heard it even if I was aware. But I think this is the zone that he's at the best in. I do like the concept album stuff from him, but I think that when it comes to this kind of high energy raps, I like him better than most. And I think of a song that he had with, he's actually on this project, let me not get his name wrong. Armani White, there you go. I was calling Armani Caesar. Armani White, when he did that song with him on Armani's project, Goated. And I said, like, this kind of tempo for Denzel, he's going to kill everybody. No one does this tempo better than him. And this project kind of doubled down on how I feel about that.
Yeah, me too. I think that this basically kind of like frees him from the constraints of a concept album, because he can kind of just rap about whatever. And I would say that he is not rapping about anything in particular on this album, not in a way that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. It's more of like tons of energy, songs like even G's Dub, right? Where, he's almost using like this Bone Thugs type of flow when he's rapping, which is in 2024 to be even thinking about like doing something similar to Bone Thugs in a way like that, where he very it's almost like triplet flows, but it's like layered in a way that was like, I'm trying to remember which, like, is the Busy Bone or Crazy Bone that was
Busy, but it's more melodic with how they did it,
But it was similar enough where I'm like, this sounds like Bone Thugs to me. So for him to even go in that type of realm, have this really eerie, scary, like almost like horrorcore type of beat. It's all trap beats, but this is almost like horrorcore. I thought that was awesome. Like for him to be able to jump into that, and then you can even jump into a song like Sked, where it's still ominous and still scary.
I love that song.
And have like somebody like Project Pat jump on.
Big shout out Project Pat.
You know, I thought that it was liberating for him, lyric like in a way to make his music, bro.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of music I feel like is the most fun from him. This album reminded me of Zoo from him.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I feel like this is like production wise and maybe another step past Zoo, because I feel like production wise on here there's more going on.
Yeah,
like,
lots of distortion.
Yeah, lots of distortion,
record scratching,
different voices. Like this to me feels almost like a traditional hip hop album, but in 2024. Like if someone was making like a modern hip hop project with modern hip hop sounds, this is it. Because I think the one thing he doesn't do is he doesn't ever get into the auto-tune. That's never been his vibe. Here, there are kind of slower down moments where maybe he could have done it, but he just was like, nah, I'm super cool. And what he still has that he's always had, using his voice as an instrument, the different voices he does when rapping, it's not Kendrick Lamar level where it's like there's a whole alien voice, but he has like a more chill Denzel Curry, and then he has like a more grungy Denzel Curry. And I call that like Florida man Denzel Curry. Yeah. When he has that like grunge in his voice. Because anyone who's been to Florida, Miami, like the look, the grills, the dreads.
Yeah. With dreads.
No, together. If you ever been to that part of the country for Americans and seen everyone who looks like that, you'll see 40 Denzel Currys, 40 Kodak Blacks. And that's what I think of when he uses that voice. So that to me is where I want to see more of him, because I think those songs have an energy where it's like, it's not just the beat hyping you up, his voice is hyping you up, his lyrics are hyping you up. So I like this project a lot. I was actually not only surprised because he hasn't had a project I didn't like, so I can't say I'm that surprised. But I didn't really see as much promo about this. It was good, giving mixtape energy in terms of the promotion. And listen, one of the best way to test new music, I listen to this while playing 2K.
Yeah, this is a big gym album, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so many of these songs. Hot One, you can listen to the gym. I'm thinking even Cold Pimp, you can listen to in the gym. There's a lot of songs that you can listen to in the gym. I want to mention something that we didn't earlier. Is like, there's a lot of fucking features. Like every song has
every song basically, yeah.
Every song's got 2-3 people on it, man. He's got G-Dub's got 2 Chainz, Mike Dimes, and there's a song I mentioned, Sked, Kenny Mason, and Project Pat. Cold Pimp, it's Ty Dolla $ign, Juicy J. Wishlist has Armani White that you mentioned. Ski Mask, the Slump God's on this. Kingpin, Skinny Pimp is on it. Like ASAP Ferg. How is ASAP Ferg still landing on people's projects in 2024? I don't know.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? What do I mean? How is he still arriving on people's work? When was the last time he released a solo project? He's
still active. I swear he put out a single like a month ago.
Whatever, man.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah, okay, I was right. Yeah, he had a single with him and Trey the Truth in May.
Right.
Yeah, ASAP Ferg is not retired. Like, what does that mean?
I feel like personally, ASAP Ferg, considering the rest of what ASAP has done and has been doing, ASAP Ferg kind of just like disintegrated.
I think you're on the wrong algorithm.
Maybe, yeah, because I'm not in the ASAP Ferg universe.
No, he hasn't been as active since his last project, which was 5 years ago now.
Exactly.
No, but he still has. I guess not 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago now. But he still has been putting out singles and features. Now, like, I'm not attached to my ASAP Ferg. To me, he's one of the most overrated members of the group.
Yeah.
But yeah, so ask him why he's even on features. So it's absolutely, he's one of the biggest features on the project. Like, he's one of the biggest artists on the project.
He is by name, but not by like impact.
What do you mean? Like I think you're bugging.
Today's impact?
You're on the wrong algorithm. You're on the wrong algorithm. Yeah. Like there are some people who definitely like are tapped into ASAP Ferg like every day, every week. Like you're never an ASAP man though. Like
I love ASAP Rocky.
No, but you're not an ASAP.
I love Playboy Cardi.
You're not ASAP Mob though. You're not.
ASAP Rocky and Cardi are not ASAP Mob?
No, but I'm saying you're not ASAP Mob. Like you like everyone likes ASAP Rocky and Cardi. That doesn't make you ASAP Mob. Like,
wow.
You know, so you wouldn't. I'm saying you wouldn't know regardless.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like when he comes for a mainstream hit, you'll know then. But you're not gonna be tapped in on like what else he's doing. So yeah, I think that's a crazy question of how he's on here.
I still listen to Work.
Anyways,
Work, the remix.
I like his features on here.
Me too.
And I think that he's from this part of hip hop, like that SoundCloud end of the blog era. Where almost everyone here is from that era, or there are new artists that would have fit in that era. Other than Juicy J and Project Pat, like, and I guess 2 Chainz as well, but 2 Chainz is to me came up in the blog era, even though he was around beforehand. That's when he came to prominence. So I like that this whole project is a nod to everyone from that era. And the one that I liked on here a lot that I don't know how much I really like the song, but this artist has a voice that you put him with the right production, I'm gonna like it. That's Maxwell Cream.
Yeah.
Like Maxwell Cream on Set It, I was like, yes. Because Denzel has a unique voice, but I think the voices he chooses to match with makes his project so listenable. It's like, okay, this person doesn't sound like you at all. It's like Denzel Curry's over here. Maxwell Cream is a whole different sound, energy. AP Ferg, same thing. So yeah, I like the features on here a lot.
Yeah, trap bangers, baby. Like, it's a fun one. Wishlist is also another one that I like. It's just like a lot of trap music, a lot of fun trap music, though. Like, we're out here trying to have fun, trying to party, trying to work out. I think a lot of the songs on this are going to make the workout playlist.
The whole album. Like, this is an album you can run. Like, some albums I try and listen to the gym the first time, and some projects you're like Childish Gambino would not be a gym album, you know? This album, you could run the whole thing in the gym, top to bottom.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I listened to Flockavelli all the way through at the gym.
Like Waka Flockavelli?
Yeah.
Crazy. I was at the cottage last week. I did a little Waka Flocka set. I was on the turntables. Let's do it still.
Yeah.
still runs. But I guess the last thing for me is that like this is I don't even consider this trap music, even though it probably is production-wise. But this is, I guess, the type of trap music I want to hear in full rather than a future project.
True.
And I think for me, like in the gym, I want to hear this over a Meek Mill project or a future project.
I agree.
And that's basically every single time. And so I feel like this is like a big win for him.
Yeah, it's also short. It's 15 songs, but only 34 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, how the hell is that possible?
Yeah. So it's really good. Do you have a quick score? I would give it 7.5. This is an 8 for me, I think.
Yeah, we're in the same range.
Yeah. Okay.
This is good.
The next one, the one that I really was really into, and I was kind of surprised, was Rema, which I think is, what is it called? He is, yeah. He is, right? Crazy cover. The cover of it was like basically like a specter of him with like these gold chain.
Yeah, I want that on a t-shirt.
That looks it looks sick. That track or that album is something I didn't expect from him, because I think Rema's music in the mainstream is very light, very lighthearted. Biggest song is Calm Down.
Yep.
Right? And on He Is, guys like, fuck, calm down. We're about to crank the distortion.
Yep.
We're about to crank the swearing. We're about to crank the braggadocio. We're about to crank everything up in this bitch. Right? So I was really surprised when it came to this. What about you?
I was excited, man. I think Rema's one of those artists who, I usually don't have a real good grasp on what's overplayed and not. So like when Calm Down was at its peak and the Selena Gomez version, like I had no idea. I did not know that was really what's going on. And he's one of those artists who, because he had such big singles, people forget about his album cuts. And I realized this on the album 2 years ago, Raven Roses, but the EP put out last year, Ravage, I was like, oh,
that's really good too.
I might be a Rema fan now, like full time. And so I didn't know this came out until Friday. Like I didn't know beforehand. I was super excited. This is probably, to be fair, I listened to Clairo first on the Friday.
Oh,
Clairo,
shame.
Yeah, Clairo got my first listen.
Look at this guy.
I didn't know that this came out when I listened to Clairo, to be fair. But this album, the second it came out, I listened to it like immediately. Like whatever I was doing, I just threw an AirPod in and said, okay, we're rocking this. And this album to me is really good. One thing I do want to mention, because he's mentioned it a lot, is him saying that he feels like Afrobeat, Afrofusion was kind of dead. And he's like, nah, like that's over with. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna change that. He ain't lied.
Yeah, he did not lie whatsoever because, like I mentioned with like Calm Down, and you think of Afro beats, like even something like Tyler,
Yeah.
right? What Afro beats exists as in the mainstream eye is very calming, very almost like neutral sound, right? Obviously, it's got its traditional like the shakers and the drums and stuff like that. But I think on this album, he's like, no, remember this shit is like, again, electronic music, right? We're shaking that shit up. I'm gonna bring in, I mean, Azama is probably my favorite song.
Okay.
Where it's got the pace is crank the pace. BPM is way up. He's running the repetitive lyrics, which I'm a fan of. But then there's like these like almost like these stabs, like these synth stabs, but it's also. But then they go from like these very dramatic to almost like menacing when it gets to the end. I don't know. I think that it's even dramatic when it ends. It's got that like, almost like a movie ending to it.
Yeah.
I think that he really, I've seen like, there's videos of him talking about like, the way people view Afro beats right now, it's almost like sterilized and it's kind of like watered down. I don't want people to be like, to see that watered down and be able to like think that they can take it from us and do something else. So he's like, fuck that. I'm going back to the roots and I'm going to try to fuck stuff up. And like song like Hehe and like Azama, where like, that's where I'm like, yeah, he's really getting back in the bag.
Those songs are chaotic good.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, I want us to go to a function before summer is done. I want to see that Demar Grant footwork to some of these songs. Like, cause I think this is the real Afrobeat fan where it's like, okay, like I'm ready. Like, my body is just gonna be gyrating and vibrating for the next 3 hours. Because this is an album, I'm telling you, I played it all the way through first time. Like, not even a question. And the I guess hit from the album, Benign Boys or Benin Boys, that one I feel like is a very like undeniable hit Afro song, just sonically.
Right.
And I think that it's very rare that I feel that about a song that it matches how big it is. Like this song, when I heard it on the project, I was like, okay, this makes sense as the hit, the single, whatever you want to call it. And for this song to have like basically heat all over it, and then this song to still stand out, it was like, okay, there's something here. So listen, Rema had I don't know if it was a tweet or Instagram post. He said, the big three in Afro is now a big four. He's right. He's like he is in that group. He's earned his spot. And I would say of all the projects this week, this is the album to listen to. Like I think that if you haven't listened to all of them, this is the one to listen to. Yeah,
because I think it also is even a step away. Like you think of like what Afrobeats does sound like, or like whatever your mental conceptual of Afrobeats is. This is a different version of that. It's so much faster. Like it's really fast.
I was gonna say the same thing. The speed is like the real speed.
Yeah,
it's almost as if like compared to hip hop of like the pop rap is like a slower speed than the real hip hop. It's like, okay, we're gonna water it down so you can get it. Like this is none of that. The speed of these songs, and it's funny because this is what I guess I knew Afro music to be a decade plus ago.
Right.
And I think as it became more popular, it got more away from this, which is like I kind of understand everyone's apprehensions about people taking the sound and trying to protect it, but it feels like he brought it back 100% with this one. In the comments, let us know if you guys are the real Afro fans. If you've heard he is.
Yeah.
I want to hear everyone's score, but I want to hear yours first. You got a score for this?
I think that this is an 8 for me. I think that the only thing that holds it back from being higher is like there wasn't like a song where my brain was exploding when I listened to it, but there was a lot of songs where I'm like, this is my shit. Like something like Ozeba, the pace on Ozeba, bro. Like it's weird because it's fast but also danceable. Like I feel like you're supposed to dance to his music.
That's exactly what this is. Yeah.
Right? So I think that there's a really interesting dynamic happening there. I love how it sounds all the way around. Again, he saw that it's still electronic.
Yes.
Right? Afro beats from the outside looking in can appear to not be electronic music, but when you listen to him and like even Amare, like there's an electronic element to the Afro beats that they create. So I think that to me means it's 8 out of 10. What about you?
I would give this a 9, man.
Yeah.
I think that I think Ben and Boys to me is that standout. It's not like the greatest song I ever heard,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like you could throw that on a party of people not even knowing the song and they're gonna be like super excited. And then there are a few songs on here that you basically can't sing along to at all, but you absolutely can dance to.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that like Jose was one you mentioned, like that being a quality in the song of there's no way I can sing along to this,
Mm-hmm.
but I could definitely dance to this. I got to give that some rating. So for me, it's a 9. I think we should get to the album that you've been dying to talk about. This album's been on your mind since it came out. Absolutely burning a hole in your chest. That's Charm by Clairo, her third project. This actually
This is the fourth one because you had the EP at the beginning. Diary 001.
Third album.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I love Diary 001.
This is her biggest project to date, I would say. Her highest charting position. I think she got to number 4. But to me, this is like more of the same in a good way.
Yes.
I think that if you're a Clairo fan, you're like, okay, we're still here. Like, and I think there's a little bit more of an influence from other artists that it doesn't feel as much of like, hey, this is all one long song. I think that her past music had some of that feel. And there's still some of that on here. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. There's still some of that on here. But I think there's a little bit less of that on this one.
Yeah, I think for me with Clairo, like just like for background, is like I think that she fell into this trap of before she was like bedroom pop, she was like template. She was like, this is what bedroom pop sounds like. Her and like, I don't know, like the Marias or some shit.
Yeah. She was.
Right. And then the next 2 albums, I felt she fell into like the Lil Yachty trap of like, my music is actually music that needs to be taken serious. Yeah. And I'm very mature. And that to me kind of drained so much of the life out of her music, considering that it was already a very mellow and chilled style. It almost made it too mellow where it was like wallpaper.
That's exactly how you can describe it, yeah.
So now in Charm, there's more life. She brought life back to it. You know, the singing isn't as one note. Songs like Sexy to Someone has, you know, multiple elements. Let's bring in a flute. Let's bring in some woodwind instrument. Let's bring in things other than just the guitar and like very simple drums. So I like that. I just think that, I don't know, maybe I just let go of the rope with Clairo.
I think you're over it.
Yeah, I think I might just be over it.
I think someone like Clairo, for people like us, like, is that this is not groundbreaking bedroom pop. Like, we've heard this kind of music.
Yeah, for years.
And also from mad people.
Yeah.
I think some people, like, they might only know Clairo. Like, when you think of this, Clairo's the only person you know who makes this music. I think for us, it's like we can find 10 other people we want. If we really want to get our bedroom, you know, vibe on, that's not the person we would go to. I like Juna a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good tracks. Juna, Echo, I like a lot too.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good songs on here, and I think this is probably the first time with Clairo where I've thought about her vocal ability. I think before, the vibes were just so vibey that I was like, either I'm going to go to sleep or vibe out, and either way, I don't care. Right. I think songs like Echo and Juna, you're like, do I want a better singer on this? Oh. And Juna is a like prime example for me where I'm like, what if we had Jasmine Sullivan on this song? Oh my God. Like, wow. I'm going levels up. Like, let me not go so far up. But that kind of idea where Arlo Parks, for example, would Arlo Parks sound better on this?
Yes, she would.
And I think that the almost better her production gets is the more that she's hurt by her kind of lack of vocal ability. Right. And so I think before it didn't stand out as much because like this is all vibes. Whisper, sing, do both same time, whatever you want to do. Now that the production has kind of evolved a little bit, you're like, So I don't want to give her a demerit for that because, you know, she has the tools she has. I think she is improving production-wise.
Yes, absolutely.
So I want to give her credit for that, but I did notice that in a way I didn't notice before.
Yeah, I think her singing ability is just not elevated in any way, really. And like it's the way she sings is probably even more muted than in her early work. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like everything is so muted. Like you can get so muted to a point where it's just on mute.
Yeah.
And I think that a song like Juna is one of those better songs where it's like, again, the production's better, more synth work. She just needs more instruments. But then now she's getting to the point where, okay, now you got to step up to the instruments, you know? You got to be able to catch up with your production, or else the production just becomes the main draw. And then we were just like, okay, there's other artists like again, your Arlo Parks, the Marias. You can even listen to. I'm trying to think of even.
Oh my God, Flaming Hot Cheetos was 2017.
Exactly.
I forgot about that. That was so long ago.
She's been around for a long time.
That was like most people. That's the first song I heard.
And I just think that there's lack of development that's happened. Even the Canadian dude from Vancouver that I'm blanking on right now.
Canadian dude from Vancouver.
Yeah, that made Salad Days.
Oh, oh my God, I'm blanking. Comments. That's my the safety
That made
here.
Salad. I can't remember.
Oh
his name
my
right
God,
now.
you know what?
But hold on,
Mac DeMarco.
Mac DeMarco.
There we go. Thank you. There you go.
Right. There's just so many people that are making this style of music and have evolved in different ways that Clairo just not evolving vocally, and songwriting is like okay. I feel like her songwriting on Sling, which was the previous one, that I really disliked it because she was talking about a lot of shit she didn't even experience. She was talking about like motherhood and shit. She's like 22. Right? So, and she doesn't have a kid. If you're 22 and you had a kid, okay, I get you. But you're 22 with no children. Like,
it's just too deep. Went over your head.
No.
You didn't.
No.
No.
So, yeah, I think that it's okay. Like, there's good songs. I even like Second Nature. I'm looking at the list, the track listing right now. Like, I like a handful of songs, but just not enough evolution is happening in the Clairo sphere for me. I don't know.
Okay, I got one last thing before we wrap up here.
Yeah.
What I do think is her next step of evolution, because as much as we're kind of shitting on this project, this is, to me, one of her best projects.
I agree.
And I think there's definitely improvement on here. Like, I think we're being harsh because we have this scope of music we do have. But I think, like, this is an artist who's improving and getting better, you know, basically as they go on musically. The one thing I do think she needs to add is more collaborators. I think in the ilk of Lil Yachty, Let's Start Here, how almost every song had a feature, a different voice. I think that's what she needs. I think a lot of these songs make it like a duet. You know, you do the song with someone. I think about Men I Trust.
Men I Trust is who I was trying to grip for her. Or even Haim.
Haim.
It'd be a good collab for her.
And I think that if she collaborated with a bunch of these people, we would have a more dynamic album with a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
And so I think that to me is probably the next step, because I don't see her vocally getting to this place that we're talking about. Like, I think of someone like Lana Del Rey, who's one of the OGs of this kind of like bedroom sleepy pop sound with the whisper singing. Like, Lana Del Rey sounds like Whitney Houston compared to Clairo.
Yeah. Get a Billie Eilish. You can get a Billie Eilish on this. And this is Billie Eilish's, I think, vocal zone, not production zone. So it would be interesting to have her on this.
Yeah, Clairo and Eyelash would be a good collab.
Yeah, so I think you're right. She needs more collabs, because even on Diary 001, she did work with Reggie Snow, bro.
Oh my God, throwback.
Right? So that was one of the better songs.
I haven't heard that name since.
Yeah, so I think that's her biggest issue is like expansion. Like we got to do more out. Like we got to find something else to do other than this, because she's existed in this bedroom quiet space for a long period of time. There's been tons of artists that have sprouted during the same time as her, have done different things. And then there's also artists who can reach into what she's doing, but also have other shit that they can do. So she's kind of become very insular, and listening to multiple albums of this extremely insular artist is starting to get really tiresome.
Yeah, and I think that especially for the group of fans who are accustomed to this kind of music, it's you're facing an uphill battle. Like, not everyone is like, oh my God, Clairo, never heard this before. Like, most of her fans, I feel like, have a playlist of this sound.
Yeah, there's just more songs to add to the playlist. Okay, a quick score. Do you have one?
I'll give this a 6.5.
Okay.
I think it's good.
I think it's 6.
Okay.
It's passable.
It's good. It's good.
It's okay.
It's good, man.
It's okay.
You don't think it's good? I think you're.
I think it's okay.
You don't think it's good?
No, not really. I think it's okay. I think the other album, Sling, I think I really didn't like it, if I remember. And I think we reviewed it.
This is better than Sling, though.
This is better than Sling, yeah.
Yeah. I think this is good. I just think there's just a lot more she could do. But Let us know in the comments.
More features.
All the Clairo fans. Listen, if we didn't talk about an album that came out in the past couple of weeks and you wanted to hear about it, there's some we're not going to mention. You know who you are. You know who you're not. But if you had an album you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. If you got albums coming up you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. We're excited to hear from you.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this part of Soundbites. This is, again, what Soundbites originally was going to be like, where we'd do a big review, and then we have like a million other albums that we want to talk about. This is how Adriel and I would say, if we were just talking on the street, this is what we would be we would be talking about the album that somebody has dropped. So if you enjoyed this and you liked hearing us talk about albums this way, leave a comment below. We'll do more like this because this is fun for us too. And this is the part, and again, this is album mode. This is the Soundbites portion where we're talking about the music, the culture, the internet, and the legal battles and everything in between in the music culture that we exist in today. And I would want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on the interwebs at Album Mode Pod on Instagram, at Album Mode Pod on Twitter, at Album Mode on TikTok. And of course, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video, something that we're trying to build and build. Thank you, everybody, for showing up in the comments. I see the regulars. I see the new people. Love you.
I see you guys. I don't reply, but I see
I am replying.
Yeah.
I am replying in the comments, okay? So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And Adriel, make sure you know yourself and know your worth.
Later days.